Hello everyone, Another Trey here, and welcome to episode 16 of Another Trey's Let's Play Modded Minecraft version 1.21. When we left off last time in our part 1 of Miscellaneous updates, we were fixing our lava problem. It was specifically the amount of chunks that we could load. As you can see, I jumped that way up. Like I said before, I would not recommend doing this in a multiplayer server unless it's just you playing like I am. But yeah, this should make it so that we can now leave the nether safely while this pulls in lava for us. So with that said, we're going to go back home. And what I want to do first today is fix our power problem. So the way I want to do that is we're going to get rid of this lava power system that we got going, and we're going to update it with a new system that is going to be based on thermo generators. So these thermo generators will produce power based on the base generation rate, which for these, the spirited tier, are 800 FE per tick. But that will be modified by whatever block is under them, and then they also need water fed into them. So this one, for example, this was supposed to be like a temporary spot for power, but I'm kind of thinking I like this actually. So we might just make this our permanent like power setup. So what I want to do here is actually use this space. Did I do that wrong? I think I might have done that wrong, because what I want to do is, do I have any of those water tubes? It's been at this point a couple days since I've last played this, so yeah, we do have some of those. So I got to remember some stuff here. So what I think I'm gonna do is run the water tubes like this, and then I think I want to have this come down here. Now I'm testing something here because I don't know if this is actually going to work, but if we have an export bus going into that pipe. So did we automate these? Yes. ME export bus. Give me one of those. Thank you. And then we put it right here. And then we tell this to give us some water. I guess I need a bucket for that, huh? Do we have a water bucket on us? No, but we got some in the system, or at least we should. So bucket, yep. And then if we say water, we should just be able to boop. Then if we tell you, actually we want to right click to set that as water. Will you output directly into this pipe? Looks like no. So what I might need to do here instead is put some kind of tank here. Do we have our basic tank. Do I want to leave this guy here? Or actually what I think I want to do is, did we automate tanks? We should probably automate, there's a tank that I really like. What mod was that from? Singularity tank from Mob Grinding Utils. The jumbo tank, which is just a combination of a bunch of the singularity tanks. So these are cheap and easy. I think what we're going to do is automate both of these. I think we just need the smaller one for this build. Where do I want to put this guy? Wow, we do not have much space for patterns. Let's go ahead and just put these here for now. I very soon want to get into building a machine that's going to solve this problem. But for now, let's go ahead and request one of these tanks. This can go back in here actually, and then we'll go down. We'll put this tank here. That will connect. Why do you have water in you already? Somehow that got a little bit of water in it. Don't know how that happened, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and do this, and then you should be able to export water if I do that. Are you exporting? Yes, you are. And then if we want to go faster, we can put acceleration cards over here. But I don't think we need that for right now. What we do need, though, is something to pull the water out of this tank now and into this pipe. Let's get rid of these. And actually, do I have some of these? And then this guy. I think, should I do that or should I do, maybe I should do these. And put this guy here. And then what we're gonna do is put these blaze blocks. So this is made with 9 of those blazing crystals that we make. We're gonna put this guy, I think just right here for now should be fine. And then we're gonna put our thermo generator here. Now the next question is power. I guess the power we're gonna have to pull from the top. So then we are out of these guys. Let's get some more of those. Did we automate those? Yes, we did. So if I do like 100 of those, is that cool? Looks like it's gonna try. So it's zapping over here. What are we up to here? Niotic? Oh yeah. So it's gonna zap all those. I want to replace, these pipes are pretty slow, so I kind of want to replace them. The ones from Ender.io seem to work pretty well. So there's enough of those for now. That'll at least get us going. If we go like this, that should mean that we are now producing, so this was 800 by default, but if you look here, this block multiplies by 280%, so we're actually making 2240 from this one thermo generator. And then the magmatic guy here, he's making 2000. So this is using lava and making less power than this guy who's only using water. Somehow he does have water in him. I'm not sure how. Oh, he probably had water in him. Because of when I was testing. So he probably already had water in him. Yeah. So he's now not making any power. Is it because he's out of water and it's like bugging and showing that there's water? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break these guys. We can actually get rid of these at this point. And what I think I'm going to do is just take this lava tank. And we're going to use this lava tank for our stoneworks build that we're going to do in a very near episode. So this guy, okay, so now he's making power again. I'm not really sure why. The water is slowly going down, so this does not take much water at all. But we do need to pull the water out of this tank. So let's go ahead and make, did we automate extractors? We did. We're so talented. Anyway, let's take this guy. Oh, we had a couple more. That's cool. And then if we stick this guy on here, he should automatically start pulling water. And he's now full and he'll stay full. So that's cool. We now have more power coming out of this one block just using water than we had before. Do we have any more of these thermo generators? Actually, that's not true because we had 2 more generators. So if I try to make one of these, is this going to be happy? It's probably going to take a while. If we look at our thing here, well, this is really not going to take long. The longest part is making the niotic crystals and the blazing crystals and these spirited crystals, which those actually take a lot of power. So I think that was our problem last episode, was we burned through all our power. But we seem to be okay for right now, and I think it's because this guy is consistently, oh, you know what, it's pulling out of him first. So he had a full buffer, and his buffer is twice as much as our ender cell, so we actually need, but that's the next thing we're going to do. While we're waiting on that, so it is still crafting. These take a lot of power to make. Are we automating the cells? Looks like we did set that up. So this one holds 400 million. We need more blaze rods for that. Do we have... what do we currently have over here in this guy? Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead, blaze rods, and have that guy start making more blaze rods. We're gonna go ahead and throw these generators in this for now because we don't really need them. But you know what? We did we did make a spirited energy cell. So I'm glad I didn't kick that off because we're going to go in here and we're actually just going to throw this guy in here. And now this holds 404 million. So we can hold so much more power in here now. Do we have our other guy done yet? Yep. So then we just need to throw these in here and we need another blazing crystal block, which means we're going to need 9 of these. And that should not take very long. Yeah, here they come already. And then once they're done, we should be able to just go like this. And we got another one. So he should just hook in here like this. We do need one more cable up here. We're actually going to do that. I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll probably do a 5th one. That looks cool. Because, okay, so this doesn't take on the color of the water in this biome, but apparently the fluid pipes do, so it has like that cool teal color, which is awesome. I think if we want to do this right, what we're going to do is block this off just so it looks a little cooler. Right, like that, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side, and we'll have 5 on each side, because we'll have another one here, here, and here. Yeah, I think that'll look cool. This is in the way, kind of. Maybe not. Might be able to move that. But in the meantime, we won't be able to see behind there anyway, and we actually won't really be able to see behind here either, so I really didn't need to put those, I guess, but live and learn. Anyway, so let's see, how are we looking on power now? We're above the 4 million that we started with, so we should be able to easily make another one of those thermo generators. I would at least like to have 3 of these going so that we're making the same amount of power that we were before with lava, but now just with water. So that'll run. The other thing I want to work on today as an upgrade is this. I don't think is going to be sufficient. I think we're going to redo this. I think we're going to need way more Certus quartz than I had originally thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this 5 tall. Yeah. And I actually want to redo the way the inside of this looks because I have a cooler design in mind. I actually also kind of want to move this back because what I'd like to do is something like this. And we're going to want to go taller. So what I want to do is break this. I'm actually going to move this guy too. This will also give us an opportunity to replace these old cables, because I don't think they're going to be sufficient for what I have in mind here, or at least might not be. So what I want to do is, do we have any Luminax blocks? No, I think we're probably short on, how are we looking on glowstone? Not a ton. I want to move this. Where is our, we have like one of those hammers, right? Yeah, we do. So we should be able to move these. This is a flawless. We want to make sure it stays a flawless. And then our growth accelerators. Can we make like 4 more of these? Oops. We need more Certus quartz dust. We have a little bit, and I actually just broke our only source of it, didn't I? Yeah. Can we make at least like 2 more? Yeah. Okay. So I think we're gonna make like right here. Let's put our flawless budding here. We actually didn't need to put that there. And then we'll put this guy here. I would like a bunch more of these. So in order to make the flawless budding dudes, did we ever make the crystal fixer? I don't think we did. So let's go ahead and make that crystal fixer. So this guy's really cool. We need 4 of these entro infused ingots. Let's get that going. And we're gonna need 4 lapis. And we're gonna need 4 gold. And then we'll turn these guys into the crystal or the dust. Which, wow, we have a lot of stuff on us. Let's put this sand in here. Let's also get this stuff out of our inventory for now. These guys, this guy. Okay. I think we've done these before, but these are made just like the Fluix dust. You know, we still have our magnet on. So this guy, and these. Right, they get done instantly. All right, so now we're back to our crystal fixer. We need one of these guys. Just gonna take, oh no, it's Certus quartz dust. Do we have Certus quartz? Oh yeah, we got tons of Certus quartz. It looks like a lot, but actually it's not a lot. When you start getting into the quantum stuff, that's when you really have a lot of Certus quartz that's needed. All right, so there's our 64 dust. Let's throw this in the system. Back to our, actually, you know what? Now that we have that dust, can we make, we needed like 2 more growth guys. Yeah. Okay, and then we want the crystal fixer. So we're making this glass, and then that'll make him. And then to go with that, we need 4 Certus quartz and 2 quartz fiber. Do we have any quartz fiber? Not enough. All right, so we got 2 of those. And then what was the other thing we needed? I forget already, and I just had it up. So the crystal fixer, 4 Certus quartz. Not that, this. Okay, and then we go to our crystal assembler, and nope, this guy. All right, so that pulled it immediately into the system, but we're gonna take this. We just need a temporary home for him right now. Will he, or can we just like pull this cable out here, I guess? Actually, will he work, get power like this? We do need a bunch of charged Certus quartz for this guy. Doesn't look like he's pulling power from here, which is going to be a problem. Let's actually move him. If we put him here, and then we pull this power up like that, now we should have power. Yep, now he's got power. And then he can actually take any blocks of Certus, and as long as he has charged Certus in him, he will upgrade its tier until it gets to flawless, and then once it's flawless, it won't break. So we're gonna take our Certus, and we need 4 of these. A cool thing about the Certus blocks is that if you take a Certus block and put it in water along with a charged Certus, it will actually turn into a budding of a low tier. I don't want to do them all at once because I don't want it to all like go into one block and have it absorb all of them, which it will do. So let's actually just go like this. Boop. And one more. So now we have all these crappy chipped ones, right? So one at a time, we're going to put them on top of this guy, and he will use up a charged quartz. You'll see there it just went up a tier. It's now chipped budding. And there's a chance, now it's flawed, every time that progress gets to 100%, that it'll go up to the next tier. So it's actually only one tier away from flawless already. But sometimes it can take a long time. Like, it's completely random. So I forget what the percent chance is. It's like 70% or something. But this could still take a while to get all 4 of these done. So I'm going to cut the video here until I have all 4 of these done, and then I'll be back. So we're down to 48 charged Certus, and this first one finally became flawless. So I'm going to go ahead and break him. I'm going to turn my magnet back on for the time being. We're going to stick him right here, and we're going to put another one of these guys here, and we're actually going to pull our power cable back out of here. And we're going to do 3 more just like that. While this is going, I am kind of fancying this up a little bit. So this is what? White Luminex blocks. This is kind of the design idea I have going for this. Just making it kind of look like it's in a void. Yeah, so that should look pretty cool. Okay, so now that we've got all those guys taken care of, do we have a way to get back behind there? We probably should. We'll get that taken care of here in a second. Let's just close this last little bit up. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's figure out, can we just go through here maybe? Okay, so now we're in back here. We can put our last couple power cables. And then what I'm gonna do is actually put the block breaker. We're gonna move him to right here, but what we're gonna do first is we're gonna have to get some power out to him. Which should be right there. Yep. All right, and then if we go up here, do we need to go up one? No, because that's where the block breaker is going to go. So we're going to break that back, put our block breaker right here, and then we're actually going to change the render on this guy. Okay, that's a weird one. I don't know why I had, oh, I remember why I had it like that. But we're going to go up on the Y, we're going to go forward on the X, the other way. Must be the Z. Where's it going? Maybe we go the other way. So the Z, yeah, there we go. So there, and then we're going to go up on the Y until it's in the middle one. Okay, so we're good there. And then we're going to expand it also on the Y so that it takes up that whole space. So that should be cool. We're going to make sure that it still says it only breaks those, and then we're going to put this guy back in there, and we should now be getting way more crystals because we have 5 going instead of just the 1. So yeah, that should make this process a lot faster. I also I thought I put a door somewhere. Didn't I put a door somewhere? I put one there. Did I not put one on this side? Oh, I did, and then I buried it with the milk bottle. Anyway, so that should take care of that. That's one of the upgrades I wanted to get down, and then we'll see what we want to work on next. While we're at it, let's go ahead and finish off this little upgrade we were doing here. Let's put this guy here, this guy here. That should get us even more power. This water tube does need to continue down to here so that we can put one there as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and make the other two since we got so much power coming in now. That shouldn't be a struggle anymore. So let's make this other one. I also just realized we never automated the production of engineering processors. And I realized that when I went to actually make the next, like a bunch of controllers to finish this. I would really like to finish this guy off. So if we go in here and request 15 controllers, what do we need? Some skystone? Some skystone blocks. Do we have any skystone? Yeah, so we can just go ahead and smelt some of this up quick. And that'll get us another stack of skystone blocks, which should be sufficient to get our last, I think it's 15 controllers, because I think it's just, oh, that was actually pretty quick. We'll take these while the rest are crafting. Did I break one of my frame doors? Oh, I broke this one. Oh, you know what? Because I broke that. And he can't go here without that, can he? No, because there's no block there. So what I was doing was trying to make this side look the same as this side, and as you can see, I broke things while I did that. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is go back one more. And do this, and then I should be able to break this guy. And it's starting to look janky. Let's put that there, and then get back out of here. Okay, so now we should be able to return a block to here, which means we can put our door back, even though we can't really use it anymore. I'm probably gonna have to move this milk thing. So laboratory blocks, 1, 2, and then these can go back with these. Okay. So we've got controllers coming in. This should be the last couple, and then we're done. Oh, you know what? There's 5 more there. I forgot about those. Can we do 5 more? Yeah, let's go ahead and get those done. Cool. So now we don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's make one more. Can we make a 16K? How long does it take us to make a 16K guy? And we're done. Okay. Let's do... We want a 16K crafting store. Oop, that was him back there. Right here, which means we need one of these. And then 16, we can use, oops, use that guy. Oop. So this guy, this will just make it so that we can have 2 crafting operations going on at once. It's not usually necessary. And then we need some co-processors, which is just engineering circuits. So we'll craft up one of those, and then this guy, gonna need some parts for that. And then we should be able to make the coprocessor, and this basically just makes it so that within a craft, it can do more than one of the parts of the craft at a time. So you can do 2 now. If you add more coprocessors, it'll be able to do 3 or 4. Obviously, that's still limited by the amount of space the crafting storage has in it, where it keeps the materials that are used to do the overall craft. It's really only important for very, very large crafts, like making a 256K item storage, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and check in on our essences. We have 10,000 Inferium essence, which is pretty awesome. So where are our crystals? Okay, so we want to take all these. I'm going to go ahead and combine these and see how high we can get, and I'll come right back. So we've actually gotten to the point where we can make the master infusion crystal, which is awesome because that means we don't actually need any of these other crystals at all anymore. They can go into this chest and just be gone, because with this one, because it has unlimited uses, its NBT data doesn't change whenever it makes a craft, which means we can automate this guy a lot easier, which is the problem that we were having before. So did we have, we don't need any of this stuff. We can take all these patterns and empty them, and I know I've shown it before, but it's really easy to put a pattern back to blank. You just shift right click while it's in your hand, and that'll make a blank pattern. So actually, you know what? I did need those. I forgot about that, but that's okay. We'll just make them again. But we're going to want to use a very specific block to work with those. And that block is called a quantum crafter, which is an insanely good block. It's going to require a lot of things that we don't have. 64K ME storages we should have, yes, but we don't have quantum computer cores. We don't have quantum crafting units. So we're going to start making all the patterns for all this stuff. I'm going to throw this master infusion crystal in here because we're going to be using that for pretty much exclusively crafting. We need the quantum, this guy. So it says we need these guys. These require lava, which is why we're actually going to take our ender tank, and we are going to set this up. I think we're going to put it here, but I want to do it like there. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this milk jar and we're going to put him here. And then we're going to take this ME storage bus, put it back on there, take our piece of cable that we just got somewhere here. Yep. He's going to go here, and then we should be able to make also one very important thing for these is make sure that you partition your storage so that it knows not to put other stuff in here. It's not as important for blocks like this. It's mostly important for the mechanism tanks because they can have buckets stuck in them. And if you don't set it to only take the liquid, store the liquid that it says in here, it will try to stick buckets in those as well. So that's very important. Let's make another storage bus. Shouldn't take very long. Yep, there we go. And we'll put him on this. Actually, you know what I actually want to do? These only hold like 16 buckets. Yeah, they only hold 16 buckets, which isn't enough for some crafts. So let's actually make one of those jumbo tanks, which should be pretty quick as well. It's just a bunch of crafting. Yep. And we're going to take our ender tank here. And we're actually going to have him dump into this tank, but in order to do that I got to aim properly. Yep. And then we'll just flip this upside down and it'll start dumping all of its lava into this big tank. I'm just going to have a storage bus on it, and then we're going to partition that guy. So he is now our permanent lava tank, which should be just filling up from this guy. So now when we go in here and we say we want to make our quantum crafter, and we say we want to make these shattered singularities, we should have pretty much all this stuff. Maybe we might have to automate these two, but that pattern can go into our, was it the crystal guy? No, reaction chamber. So that's this guy here. We're gonna go ahead and put these in here. This crafting pattern is going to go into here. All right, what else do we need to make for a quantum crafter? This takes so many parts. We do need the quantum crafter itself. We still need these guys. So now we can take those. Those were both just made in a crafting table, right? Am I right if I'm right? Yeah, that one, yes, for sure. And then what was the other thing? These, yep, these, yep. Okay, so we should be good there. And we'll go down here. We'll take this guy here, this guy here. What else do we need to make this guy? Is that it? Crafting units. We never taught our system how to make crafting units, which should be this. but it knows how to make all that, so that's fine. And then this guy should go at the beginning here. He's the most basic. If we now tell him he just needs Certus quartz dust, ender pearl powder, and a little bit of skystone, which is super easy. So we're going to take skystone blocks. We're just going to take a couple of them. Wait, no, not the blocks. We'll just take these. We're going to need some Certus quartz dust, which we always need. And what was the other thing that I forget already? Ender pearl powder, which is super easy. We just need some ender pearls. We actually don't even need that many because I think each of these makes like 9. And then we're going to grind all this stuff up. So the tricky one is going to be the skystone. The skystone dust, I think, has to be done in an inscriber. So let's just plop one of those here for now. Stick that in there. Do we have any of those acceleration cards? I thought we had a bunch of extra ones, but maybe not. It never hurts to have more acceleration cards. And throw these guys in here. I forget how many of this dust it said it needed. It wasn't very much. Let's take these 8 and see what happens. So these guys all go in here. And then quantum crafter. Need a couple more. All right, let's see how long it's going to take our system to make this guy. Only a couple seconds. Oh, this guy definitely needs acceleration cards too. We do have 2 crafting units now, so we can craft 2 things at once, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and put these in here, and that should finish those up quickly. That's done, and I think we have our quantum crafter. So this guy is super handy when it comes to combining our essences. What we're gonna want to do is set this guy up somewhere cool, which is gonna be should we put him right here in the front? We're gonna need a couple of these, so we're gonna put this one right here. This has a place for a whole bunch of crafting recipes, and basically what it's gonna do is it's just going to continually, as long as it has the materials in the system, it's gonna craft these. But there's also a setting that you can tell it to leave certain things behind. So if we go in here and we start with our essences, and we say we want to know how to go from Inferium to Prudentium. The way we're going to do that is with the Master Crystal, which we have in the system. We're going to go into here. We're going to put this in here. Now, it's not going to do anything yet because this is the Enable Disable button. Once you click that, it's going to run. But first, we're going to tell this we want to keep 64, press enter, of these in the system. Once you get down to 64, don't run this anymore, right? We don't need to tell it to keep any of this because it's unlimited use, and then we don't want it to limit the number of these that it's going to make. We're just going to want it to combine them all. So now that that's done, I like to make sure that it took that. We're going to hit this button, and then we're going to go in here, and you're going to see it's going to turn all of this green stuff except for 64 into the Prudentium essence. Now we're going to want to do the same thing with the orange, which is crafted like this, and we're going to go into our quantum crafter. We're going to throw them in here. We're going to go to settings. These we don't need to keep as many because they're not used as often, so we're just going to set that one to 32. We're going to go back in here and make sure it took, yep, and then we're going to activate that, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to start taking these, all except for 32, and craft them into these. This does not use your crafting stuff. It just does it itself, which is awesome. So after orange is what? Blue. So now we want to tell it to make the blue. We are going to go in here and throw this one in. We're going to tell it we want to keep 32 of the orange. And that's it. And make sure it still says that. Yep. And then we're going to activate that. And it's going to do the same thing with that. As you can see, this hits 32 and then it stops. And then it waits for more to come in, which it's still crafting these into these. So there is still more coming in. And then it turns them into these. And then it's going to turn all those into those except for the 32, which it stopped and it's keeping 32. And then the blue, we are then going to want to craft into the red the same way. Change this. The blue, we're going to keep, I think the blue, we're just, we'll do 32 of those as well. Let's just do 16 of the blue because the blue is rarely used. And then that should be good. We'll activate that and we'll see the blue is now being turned into the red. And then the red gets changed into the purple, which apparently we don't have of because we used it all. So the purple is the Miscellaneous essence. We're gonna craft this guy into you. And then here we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna keep 16 of the red. And that should be good. And then we're gonna turn that one. And then you'll see it does have 16. It did make 4 of the purple. This is also going to save a lot of space in our system, which is awesome. But it did make 4 of the purple. Cool. Now with that, we should be able to make pretty much anything we want in the game with these essences. And of course, the thing that we're going for is netherite. Do we have any kind of netherite scraps? Because in order to make the netherite seeds, we're going to need 4 netherite to get our first seed. Once that's done, we'll have unlimited netherite. It's just a matter of time. But for now, we do not have any netherite. So I guess I'm going to, between episodes, go find some netherite scraps. Do we have any in here? We have dark steel, but not netherite. So yeah. In between episodes, I'm going to go into the nether, finds, well, I guess we do have these 4 scrap, but that's only enough to make 1. Is there any way to stretch this a little further? I don't think so. I mean, there we can do 3 with that, but that's getting into a whole system. Yeah, I don't think so. 4, but that's still using the same amount. Yeah, so I don't think so. So I'm just gonna have to go find some netherite. So like I said, guys, in between episodes, I'm gonna go find us some netherite so that we can get those netherite seeds going. For now, I'm just going to finish upgrading this little power system. We are gonna need another blaze block here. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing between episodes. When I come back, I should have the netherite that we need to make the seeds, and then we can get that system going. And then I think what I'd like to work on next is getting rid of this problem that I'm having with sand and glass and just keeping that in stock. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that done, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining me. If you like the episode, please give it a like. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.